What's up everybody, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here, and welcome back again to my YouTube channel. And in this Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I'm optimizing Zack's build now that he has a brand new weapon, which actually makes him a much better character compared to how he was before. Because before, even though he had some pretty good weapons that you could farm for free, and he was given, a free weapon from the beach event and all that, he was still a bit underwhelming in my opinion compared to the rest of the cast. But now that he has his brand new weapon, he's actually a very strong candidate in terms of like a water damage dealer, or even like a secondary water damage dealer to support your other main DPS that wields the water element. So I'm going to show you guys my optimization and how I go about it, and then I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section below how you like to optimize for your skills. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and start off on which costume you should be using. Arguably, you should be using the Black Hound. It is his best costume, but if you don't have access to that, another good option is also the Valiant suit, because you do get boost attack, so he gets a little bit of attack or a little bit of offense there. If you don't have access to this one is also all right. It gives him survivability. And then, I mean, if you don't have access to any of the other three, worst comes to worst, use this. But arguably, this is going to be his best costume in terms of the one that you want to use for this build. Okay, in terms of limit break, I'm just going to be real with you guys. Summons right now still trump limit breaks, maybe except for like Aerith's, because she has Healing Wind, which is super valuable. But in terms of raw damage, you can't beat summons right now. I just think that summons are the best choice when it comes to using a limit break. So right now I have Ifrit on my Zack in terms of like an example of what I want to use for a summon. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about what you want to use for your main hand and your sub hand. So obviously my main hand, I'm going to be using the Black Whiskers. And the reason why is because you get some really good reinforcement abilities from it. You get a lot of physical attack, which this build is primarily physical attack. You also get that boost water potency. And even though this doesn't deal water damage, it does have that water resistance down. So if you are taking Zack into a boss fight or a fight that has an enemy that is weak to water, he's going to further weaken their resistance to that element. And then afterwards, I'll show you the support materia. But the second support materia, if you run Materia Blow, Zack can deal a pretty considerable amount of damage with this combination alone. And the support materia on this particular weapon is actually really, really good. You get a physical attack boost, so you have another option for like a physical type materia. And then you have triangle sigil boost. So any triangle bosses out there, Zack can help you shred that charge bar whenever they go into their state where they're charging an attack, and if they have the triangle symbol, well, Zack's gonna get through that. But this is gonna be your main hand weapon, no doubt. This is what you're gonna want to use. Now, in terms of secondary weapon, this is where it depends on what your sub-weapons are usually, because when it comes to reinforcement abilities, each reinforcement ability has a specific max level. Any amount of points that's beyond that max level is not going to do anything for you. So for example, for this build that I currently have on him, with the current OB or overboost levels of the weapons that I have, I already have it at max at level 7, and I'm already 6 points above this, but because of the current gear that I have, I unfortunately have to be 6 points above it. But anything beyond the max of the reinforcement ability, you're not going to be getting any sort of value. So that's the reason why I'm saying when it comes to your secondary weapon, it really depends on what you have on your sub-weapon. So for me personally, I think the most optimum secondary weapon for Zack is going to be his Cutless. And the reason why is boost ability potency. I can't tell you how powerful this particular reinforcement ability is. There's also one for magic. There's also one for physical attack. But anytime you are in your attack stance and that stance gauge is at max, you're going to be dealing additional damage. So for example, for your physical damage, right, you're getting a total of 40%. Now I know that this is actually no, I don't think this is cut in half, because I know that sub weapons and secondary weapons, you get like half of the points, but I believe the actual ability itself doesn't get cut in half. But if I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comment section below. But that's still huge. You can get up to 40% when you have this at level 7 for both your physical and magic. And then if you happen to have weapons on Zack that, let's say, have boost physical ability potency, you're gonna get more on top of that. So this is the reason why I chose Cutless. Now, there are other options besides Cutless, again, if you want to build him a little bit differently. So we're gonna turn on a filter right here. Filter. Can we filter by character? Oh wait, we don't need to. Sorry, kind of late at night for me when I'm recording. Okay, so another option that you could use is the Type 99 Longsword. This will give you boost attack. So if you're already capped out on your physical attack, but you want a little bit more, there you go. And then it also gives boost crit potency, which is not bad if you want more crit damage on Zack. Another option you can use is going to be the Falchion. Now, forgive me, my Falchion is not at it's not out of 5-star, unfortunately, but this will give you access to a second element that is AoE. It'll give you more physical attack, so if you are going to use this weapon for your secondary hand, you want to make sure that you're not overcapping on your physical attack. But those are two other options to consider, but in my opinion, I like to go for the Cutless for that boost ability potency. In terms of Materia, it really depends on the fight. It also depends on what stats you're focusing on. Obviously, for this build, focus on physical attack percentage, focus on HP percentage. But I will say, since you have Black Whiskers on your main hand, take advantage of this, which is the attack boost water on that secondary slot. So you're always going to have Waterra Blow on your secondary Materia slot. That's just going to be the way that it is in terms of Materia. All right. So lastly, we're going to go into sub-weapons. So again, I'm trying to avoid, you know, overcapping on things. So in terms of like more water potency, I actually went for Serpent Eater. I could go for Maritime Sword, but that gives me physical attack and water potency. In this case, I would rather have more HP for survivability since I'm already overcapped on the physical attack. And then I'm getting a little bit of water potency. And right now my water potency, it's at 4. It could be better because this goes all the way to 10. But everything else that I have here will make up for that loss in like water potency damage. My next choice of weapon is probably one of the most flexible weapons out there for your damage dealers. It's going to be the Heavy Hauser. Reason being is you get boost attack, so this does not influence your boost physical attack, so I'm getting a little bit more physical attack that I normally would have, and I'm getting some more boost ability potency. So we're taking advantage of that stance being at max for attack stance. And if we can see right here, for a boost ability potency, I have it at 4. And then finally, this weapon right here is arguably going to be one of the best choices for sub-weapons for your physical DPS. Matt's Killer Hornet is just amazing. You get more physical attack. That's how I was able to cap out on physical attack already. And it also has boost physical ability potency. So at max, we get 36 points, which is crazy. So that would be around 18 points since it's a sub-weapon. But you can see right here, this build is it's getting to be pretty optimized. And as I reach higher overboost levels, obviously I will switch some weapons out so then that way I don't overcap on certain things. But this is going to be how I would personally optimize for Zack if you're going to be building him with his brand new weapon. He's a lot better now, in my opinion. I think he's going to be great for fights that have a water weakness. He's going to definitely help you out if you're going to be like farming Ramu, for example, because he's going to shred Ramu to pieces. Just to keep it real. His character is going to be able to do a ton more damage to Ramu. So if you have him with his, new weapon and his costume and all that, take this video, as like a guide to help you guys optimize. Again, let me know in the comment section below if there's other weapons that I could have considered for this build or how you guys would personally build them. I'd love to hear your guys' comments in terms of that topic. All right, guys. Well, thank you again for watching my video. Stay tuned for the next one and stay blessed, everybody.